The deep state is kicking back hard against Kash Patel as FBI director, and this one involves, believe it or not, someone you may have heard of before. You know Mike Pence? Well, specifically, his advisor, Olivia Troye, went on MSNBC with Joy Reid, where she said that Kash Patel would lie about everything. Kash Patel has since responded. He had his law firm draft up a letter demanding that she retract her defamatory statements that she made about him, or she would face legal action. And she has responded as well on Twitter. So this is a statement on Joy Reid, MSNBC, that Olivia Troye made about Kash Patel. Let's take a look at it and laugh.
I worked with Kash in the White House. I was Vice President Mike Pence's counterterrorism advisor. So I had to coordinate with Kash a lot. Kash Patel is a delusional liar. Let me just be very clear about that. And he would lie about intelligence. He would lie about making things up on operations. I think Mark Esper has talked about that as well, where he put the lives of Navy SEALs at risk in an operation when it came to Nigeria. These are things that actually were happening in real time when he was in the role of CT coordinator in the White House. And I know this because at some point I realized that I needed to double check Kash's work to make sure that I wasn't misinforming Mike Pence by relying on his word. So I had to go around him. And this is a guy who openly has contempt for people in national security, for people especially at DOJ and the FBI. He made open comments like this. And so I think, there is a little bit of fear here from people where they know that someone like Kash Patel is fully capable of just doing partisan investigations, whatever it takes. It will be insane if he becomes the director of the FBI. And I fear for the law enforcement personnel there who are going to have to navigate this. And quite honestly, when I look at Kash Patel in combination with what is Pam Bondi going to do if she gets in as AG, is that top cover for him? I mean, these are all the things that concern me when I see all of these names being proposed for all of these different positions, because this is a very real risk and to the detriment of Americans, to be clear.
Wow. When you have Joy Reid nodding along with you in agreement and looking like, yes, I agree with you. Yes, Queen, I agree with you. When you have that happening on MSNBC, you know there's something wrong here. And is she supposed to be a Republican? Is this Olivia Troye, advisor to Mike Pence? Is she supposed to be a Republican? But I think what's really going on here is the Uniparty, the rhinos, the deep state, they do not like the microscope being turned on them. They don't like people looking at what they are doing and why they are doing it and being scrutinized. Right? That's why you have all of this kickback about Kash Patel, about RFK Jr., about Pete Hegseth. But Kash Patel's lawyers have sent her, I guess, a cease and desist as well as a demand for retraction. This is from Banal Law Group. It says, "Dear Ms. Troye, this law firm represents Kash Patel." Yes, that is Kash's first name. Kash Yap. Yes, Kash App, not the app. Kash. Cash only, no credit. Yes, I love this pick for FBI director. But they say litigation will be filed against you if you fail to publicly retract defamatory statements you made about Mr. Patel on MSNBC on December the 2nd of 2024. Be further advised that you should identify and preserve all hard copy and electronically stored documents, information, and data that relate in any way to Mr. Patel and to your statements about him on MSNBC. So they're saying, listen, if you're going to make these statements about Kash Patel, all of these wild allegations, you better have something to substantiate them by. If you're going to call him a liar and say he's putting the American people at risk and you had to do all this stuff to make sure everything was, golden and safe in the United States because of what he was doing, you had to double check his work and all these other things. You better have documentation for this because you're going on national television, even though, national television doesn't really have the reach that it used to have. But you are still going public with these allegations against Kash Patel. So you better have something to back it up. And it goes on. On December the 2nd, you appeared as a live guest on MSNBC and made several false and defamatory statements against Mr. Patel. These comments include that Mr. Patel would lie about intelligence and would lie about making things up on operations to point where Mr. Patel put lives of Navy SEALs at risk when it came to Nigeria, and that Mr. Patel was even misinforming Vice President Mike Pence. So these are very serious allegations. So, Ms. Troye, Provide us with the receipts. Keep the don't get rid of any of the receipts. Make sure you have these readily available. This is a complete fabrication, and you know it is false by virtue of your former position in the White House. At no point did Mr. Patel ever lie about national intelligence, place Navy SEALs at risk, or misinform the vice president. Not only did you have actual knowledge of the falsity of this smear, you also did so with the malicious intent of degrading his character and of cynical self-promotion. This is, of course, not the first time you have milked your former title as a means of spreading lies about associates of Donald Trump. You are already embroiled in a lawsuit for your disgusting lies about Ambassador Rick Grinnell on Twitter. Mr. Patel demands that you retract your lies in a public statement on your X account within 5 business days of receipt of this letter. Unless this step is taken, Mr. Patel will take swift legal action to uphold his rights and reputation. With this letter, you are also on notice of your ongoing obligations to preserve documents related to Mr. Patel. Accordingly, you must ensure that you, your agents, and all sources of information upon which you relied on are preserved and retained. All emails, text messages, including messages sent over social media or messaging platforms such as Facebook, Signal, WhatsApp, Telegram, etc. Audio-visual recordings, voicemails, drafts, notes, communications, documents, including prior versions or iterations of documents, data, and electronically stored information of any kind that relate in any way to these matters. Without any limitations, this requires you to preserve all research and due diligence you conducted or instructed others to conduct relating to Mr. Patel. The laws and rules prohibiting destruction of evidence, and they go through the legal notice there. But I did want to read also the statement from Olivia Troye, Mike Pence's, I guess, former advisor. And this is pretty wild because that was a very strongly worded letter from a law firm. And I'm assuming that Kash Patel has some pretty good lawyers, right? I mean, he's being tapped for FBI director. I'm assuming he has some pretty on-the-money lawyers. And she's just spitting in the face of this demand. This is what former advisor, maybe current, I don't know, but definitely former advisor to Mike Pence. This is what Olivia Troye had to say in response to this letter. She said, "Today, Kash Patel sent a letter to my counsel threatening legal action and demanding that I retract my comments on MSNBC about his unfitness to serve as FBI director. This aligns with his threats against the media and political opponents, revealing how he might conduct himself if confirmed in the role. I stand by my statements. My priority remains the safety and security of the American people. I am not the only one who has expressed concerns about him. So why me?" And so it begins. Dun, dun, dun. Ominous, very ominous. So Olivia Troye, for her to do this so blatantly, it kind of shows you the power probably behind her. The deep state, all of their power, money, and influence is probably behind her. She's just one of many that I believe. This is just my opinion. I'm just making, just wild allegations here. Just, this is not anything I know for sure, but I believe that you have these people that are being selected to go on national television and are slandering the picks that Donald Trump is making that they do not agree with or that they believe are going to be a threat to them. Notice Marco Rubio hasn't had any scandals. Notice that. Do you really think Marco Rubio is that clean? Right? Everyone has a little bit of skeletons in the closet, But it really appears that they don't have much on Kash Patel because they are resorting to a wild allegation from Mike Pence's former advisor. Does she have anything to substantiate this? What can she provide that would show that Kash Patel was lying when she was interacting with him? What can she provide? Probably nothing. I'm going to say probably nothing. I believe that this is just another scam job on national television against one of Donald Trump's appointees. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.